see it there. Just warming up with my new flight towel that I got. Hey friends, welcome back to the Miles of Disc YouTube channel. We're out here today to finish the second part of the In the Bag video series. Last time we looked at approach discs. Today we're going to be looking at distance drivers. We've got the Latitude 64 Royal Grace versus the Innova Wraith. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this is the Kristen Tatar. This is an Orbit Grace. Beautiful, beautiful stamp, beautiful swirls in the disc and that beautiful orbit. So similar to a Halo, the disc is a little bit slicker, I find. The plastic is a little bit slicker, but just a beautiful disc. A little shout out to Kristen Tatar as well too. So this is going to be a more overstable than their Grand. So then we'll go right into the Grand Grace. This is another beautiful color. There's a little bit of swirls in it as well too. This is brand new, hasn't been thrown yet. So we can compare that more so to the Star Wraith, which is this one here that I've got. This is an F2 lightweight. This is my super flippy go-to Star Wraith. In bright pink with my own little logo on it there. It's an F2 that I just wiped the stamp of. We've got the Garrett Girthy Halo Wraith here as well, which I think will be a very similar comparison to that Kristen Tatar Orbit Grace. And then we have the Nathan Queen Color Glow Wraith, which honestly, I love this plastic so much. The Color Glow plastic, whether it's you know, the Sexton Firebirds or these Wraiths. I have a few others that I've had as well too in my bag. It just feels a little bit soft, a little bit gummier, definitely more flexible, and I think this is going to be, yeah, it just feels great in the hand. Super cool stamp. Nathan Queen riding a dragon. I mean, how cool is that? So let's start out with one of my favorite discs that I used last year, the Star Wraith. This is an F2 version that I've wiped the stamp and put my own little logo on it. It's lightweight, it's about 164 grams. Typically what happens is that it's going to show a bunch of turn at the beginning and then consistent fade at the end. I love this. This is one of the discs that I've definitely thrown the furthest. Furthest throw with this one is probably 420 feet. 420 feet. Going into this wide open field right now just to get an idea and comparing these discs. So I want to start with this one. All my other discs today are going to be full weight 173, so this one's a bit of an outlier, but I just wanted to warm up with this one. Regardless, I'm not going to be able to throw full power today. Dealing with a bit of a lingering hip issue, some capsular tightness. That I'm working with some physio and also Ready Disc Golf. So if you're also experiencing that, let me know and maybe I can share some of the exercises that I'm doing to work on that. Let's get into it. Let's try this first Wraith out as kind of the perfect flight that I'm looking for, that I'm used to anyways, and then we'll compare it with the Grace and start from there. Super flippy because of that headwind. Okay, now let's compare that to the Royal Grace. Wow. Okay, that was incredible. That held that kind of perfect, super straight, and still went probably, well, let's get out and measure it. I've got my Bushnell here, so let's try and just see if we can mark where that one went to. So the trees in the background that you can see, the furthest tree is about 310. This hole usually plays around like 350 with a little bit of downhill afterwards or so. So I think that first one didn't go very far at all. The first Grace went about 300, which is pretty good for this wind. And it just flew beautifully, so I'm really excited for that disc. Next up is going to be this Nathan Queen Color Glow Grace. I just had to use the flight towel there to wipe off some of the snow. I didn't follow Nico and Carl Forbes' suggestion of leaving my discs out in the cold last night so the snow doesn't pick up on them. So unfortunately, they're all covered. Anyways, I think this one's going to be next up in stability-wise, so I think it's going to go Wraith, Grace, Nathan Queen, Wraith, and then the Kristen Tatar Orbit, Grace, and then the Halo Wraith, kind of instability wise to least to most. So let's try this one out. I haven't thrown this disc yet either. Again, pretty stiff headwind, but we're out here just testing these out, see how they go. The headwind definitely picked that one up, but still a beautiful fight with a nice, still a beautiful flight with a nice finish at the end. Next up is the Kristen Tatar Orbit Grace. I think I've thrown this a few times in the past, and it is pretty overstable, which will be great for this headwind. Okay, so we're going to retry this Kristen Tatar. That one slipped out of my hand, just wasn't a good throw. I think it was a good representation of how the disc flies. Again, still in this headwind. This one's going to be a little bit more overstable. Still going to try and throw it nice and flat and see what the natural flight of the disc does. Beautiful. Kind of exactly what you want. They're so similar. This is going to be very tough to make a decision at the end. Okay, so last but not least, we've got the Garrett Girthy Halo Wraith. I usually use this as my kind of forehand distance driver, but today we're going backhand, then we'll try the tailwind afterwards. So, but into this headwind, again, I think it should fight it really well. We'll probably get a nice full flight out of the disc. Just pure beef. Probably cut that out because that nailed the building. Fighting that headwind beautifully, relatively straight flight. Perfect. So my initial thought after throwing all these, I think my rating in sense of understable to overstable is correct. So it goes lightweight Star Wraith as the most understable, then it goes the Royal Grace, the Nathan Queen Wraith, Kristen Tatar Grace, and then the Halo Wraith in sense of overstability. In that headwind though, they all, except for the Star Wraith, they all fought it very well, held that flight path, which is exactly what you're kind of looking for in that distance driver range. They all fly very similarly. The Graces have a touch more glide, and I can definitely tell in the wind that they have that touch more glide, and in certain instances that might be useful in a tournament. And so now I'm trying to think if I want to keep both of them in the bag. We'll see. Let's go do tailwind shots, and then we can summarize from there. Okay. Okay, so we switched directions. Now we've got a tailwind. Probably throw these with a little bit of Anheuser just so that it'll fight some of that overstability that's going to come from this tailwind. Pretty strong tailwind as well too. So far really liking how most of them fought except for that flippy one. And again, like that was kind of expected, right? Lightweight, beat in, still can be a long bomber and is a long bomber. But these Graces are really surprising me. That Grand Grace, just beautiful turn at the beginning of the flight, and then overstability kicks in once it starts to slow down and fades pretty well. So let's see if it's the same in the tailwind. We'll do the same order again. So we're going to start with the flippiest first, and then work our way to the most overstable, which I think is that Garrett Girthy Halo Wraith. So yeah, and then I'll give my thoughts at the end. Okay, so here we go with that lightweight Star Wraith. I'm going to try and throw it probably with a little bit of Heiser just so it'll flip in this tailwind. Straight into the dirt. Yeah, definitely a little bit more stable in this tailwind. Okay, next in the lineup of stableness is this Royal Grace. Again, with the tailwind, they're going to be a little bit more overstable, so I might put a little bit of Anheuser on it. See if we can still get that full flight out of it. Release that pretty flat, and it just stayed straight right until the end. That's a beautiful disc. Okay, next up we have that Nathan Queen Color Glow Wraith. It's full weight, 173. Should be a little bit more stable than that last Grace. Again, I'm going to try and put a little bit of anhyzer on it so you can get a full flight. You can probably hear that tailwind kicking in now. Yeah, very similar. I definitely gave that a bit of anhyzer. Tailwind kicked up right at the end and threw it to the left. But still a beautiful flight on it. Now we're stepping up into some of the beefier ones. This one's the Kristen Tatar Orbit Grace. So again, lots of tailwind, so anhyzer release. See if we can get it to full flight. Yeah, pretty much exactly what I thought. They're all pretty much going the same distance right now, which, I don't know, probably 280 in the snow and cold. Kind of yanked on that one a bit, but still, so I didn't get enough spin on it. But still did kind of exactly what you'd expect. It likes to fight right out of that anhyzer release. Okay, last but not least, once again, Garrett Girthy Halo Wraith. For my little baby arm, this is a meat hook. Yeah, pretty much the same. Definitely more overstable than the rest of them, but flies really well. That tailwind just makes it a bit more beefy. So that's my distance driver showdown between the Latitude 64 Grace and the Innova Wraith. Honestly, it's a toss-up. They both fly very well. The more overstableness is nice to have in the headwind with either the Orbit or the Halo. This first throw ever was beautiful. It seems to carry that extra glide is nice to give you that extra distance, but I could see that being troublesome on a windy day. So I don't know what to pick. I really don't know. Why don't you let me know what you use as your distance driver in the comments below. Maybe we'll end up doing another review with some extras, but I think right now I'm going to bag both and feel it out throughout the season. Get out and do some more field work when it isn't windy, snowy, cold, and make a decision then. But I think for right now, both are going in the bag. So comment down below and let me know what you're throwing as your distance driver. Now there's a lot of exciting things that are coming your way, so if you want to stay in the loop, make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that bell button for notifications to let you know when I'm putting out new videos. Still trying to do them weekly. If you want more videos, let me know, tell me in the comments. Get the subscribers going, share this video, do whatever you can to blow it up, and then I'll know that you want more videos. And be on the lookout because there's a lot of cool things that are coming up, including some podcasts, some events. I'm teaming up with a group of folks to run some tournaments. This wind is insane. Yeah, it's going to be a super exciting year. I'm really excited for 2023. I hope you are too. And as always, remember, get out there and throw. This wind is insane. I don't even know what to do.